people who are unable to come online, they are going to. All right. So good evening, everybody,
Good evening, ma'am.
wherever you are hearing me from. Yes. So for those of us that are actually available for this particular training, and you are not on the WhatsApp, kindly ensure you access the WhatsApp link and join the WhatsApp community, because it's much more easier for me to pass informations and monitor your growth via WhatsApp than Telegram. I'm very busy. All right, going straight into this particular section, day one. I believe many of us joined this particular platform because we want to upskill. I believe some of us, we are already into graphic design. We already know what um, graphic design is all about. We have an idea of color combinations and all that. So basically, I know some people are already into creating, designs. But we are basically here because aside from the fact that we want to um, get acquainted more with what design is all about, there are some certain mistakes and there are some certain um, information that we'll be getting from this class. So I would really appreciate if you follow um, intentionally. So first of all, I don't need to go about the introduction because I've already introduced myself. So I'll be going straight into today's topic, and which is the introduction to graphic design. So is there anyone out there that can tell me what graphic design is all about? Can you tell me what graphic design is all about, Miriam? Mercy, can you tell me what graphic design is all about? Eniola, can you all hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, Iyanoluwa, please. What is graphic? What do you understand when you hear the word graphic design or graphics design? What do you understand by that particular word?
I just think graphics is just all about this is about this designing. That's what I know. Color combinations, stuff like that. That's what I know about graphics design.
I
All right,
think
thank you.
graphic design is all about to communicate, using visuals
Okay.
and colors, text, images to communicate.
Okay. Mercy,
So
you
me, I
were
think
typing something. Yeah,
yes.
please speak up. I can't
So,
read. I can't go back to the group. We are live. We are on live video. So please let me hear you. What's your idea
so
perspective about graphics?
my perspective about graphics is trying to, represent our ideas with pictures. Like pictorial representation of ideas is what me I think is graphic design.
All right. Eniola, can I hear from you? Okay, I don't think she's with
I'm
us.
going to also go with what Messi said. It's just like
Okay.
picturing your ideas and with like just the picture of your ideas with either colors and text.
All right, you guys have actually made an effort, and you all are correct. But basically, graphic design is a skillful. I hope you are with your journal. Are we all with our journal and our bio?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right, please take note of every point because we are going to be writing tests after this class. All right. So, graphic design is a skillful and creative art of communicating ideas and messages through visual content. Now, the major points that you need to alight is skillful and creative. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Skillful and creative. These two major words, I do tell people that have the opportunity to be under my class, either paid class or free class, that as a graphic designer, if you lack this basic understanding, skillfulness and creativity, you can never go far when it comes to graphic design. We have a lot of people that quite alright, they are skillful, but they are not creative. While we have some persons that they are creative and yet they are not skillful. So as a graphic designer, before you can communicate any idea or pass any messages via your visual content, you must be skillful and alongside carry a creative side of you. Now, graphic design involves creative visual elements such as logos, icon, graphics, typographic, and images to convey message, express idea, and create aesthetically pleasing designs. Before you can create a design that is pleasing, you must have a touch of skillfulness and creativity. Now, there are some times when I see, I'm going to be showing us some set of designs. I'm not criticizing anybody, and I'm not criticizing any um any artist, because being a graphic designer, it's not a bread and butter um something. So I'm going to be showing us
I can't hear anything. Is everybody still on? Same here. I can't hear anything too.
Me too. I think it's a network.
The screen is blank too. I can't also hear.
I think she's offline.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
I think this Telegram of a thing, that's why I don't really like Telegram for my classes. Okay, so I'm going to be showing us some set of designs. Can you see my screen too?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. What about now? Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can
Yes.
see it.
All right, so I'm going to be showing you some set of designs. Now, the reason why I'm showing this design is not to criticize any creative or any designer. because graphic design is actually a very complex you know feed. Now look at this design. Have you seen this? This is
Yes.
one.
Yes.
I'm going to be showing you different type of designs, different types of designs. The designs I checked online, you know, having seen faults in most of them, or whenever I'm going through them, I stumble on some graphics. Sometimes I laugh as a graphic designer. I laugh, you know. And while amidst all this that I'm showing you, there are actually some nice designs, some nice designs. Okay. So before you as a graphic designer, you can, create a design that is appealing to your audience. You must have a touch of what did I say? A touch of what? Who
Skillfulness
can
and
remind me?
creativity.
Good. God bless you. Skillfulness and creativity. You must have a touch of skillfulness and creativity. It's very, very important. I want you to always have that at the back of your mind, that as a graphic designer or whatever tech or digital space you find yourself, you must always have that at the back of your mind. Now, having gone through understanding that it's not just about graphic design, is not just about visual content, but it's all about your skillfulness and your creativity. Now, what are the primary functions of graphic design? Graphic design, can you all hear me? Just
Yes.
want to All right, I just want to ensure you can hear me. So, graphic design plays a crucial role in various industries, cutting across advertisements, marketing, publishing, entertainment, and whatever space you can think of. Effective graphic design can help you communicate your message, build your brand, and create engaging experiences. If you would agree with me, just as we cannot make do without your phone each day, so also you cannot discard the use or the appearances or yes, the use of graphic design to you know convey your message or express your idea. Do you agree with me on that?
Yes.
Yes, good. Thank God we have an
Yes.
understanding. So one of the primary functions of graphic design is that you can use it to do whatever you want to do, regardless of your field. That's why you see, as a mechanic, you must have an idea of graphic design. Why? Because the world has gone digital, right? The world has gone digital. So also you must advance in your digital knowledge. And um I'm looking for an English. One of the digital tools that we have now is graphic design. Apart from video editing and other aspects, even cutting across video editing and other aspects, the basic that you must have is a graphic designing skills. So now let's move down to the elements of graphic design. Now, when we are talking about elements, if you want to build a house, there are some materials that you will need in building a house. Am I correct? Are you people with me? Are you people with me? Are you people with me?
Yes.
Okay, so nobody is answering my question. I asked a question. I said, if you want to build a house, there are some materials or there are some ingredients, some condiments that you are going to be needing to build that house. Or is it that you just buy a piece of land and say, and do your magic word, wow, 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 building 2 story, come, boom. Is that how it's going to happen? Definitely not, right? That's not
Yes.
how it's going to happen. That's not how it's going to happen. So also, before you can design anything, there are some condiments, there are some basic visual components that you must, have at the back of your mind. These are what we call the elements of graphic design. So these elements of graphic design are what we put together to create a visually appealing and effective design. And it is very important for each and every one of us, to understand them. Quite alright, we might be familiar with them, but we also need to understand them. So number one is what we call lines. What did I say? Can you all hear me?
Please, can you
Yes.
repeat what you said?
I said, when we are talking about elements of graphic design, we are talking about the condiment or basic visual components that we use in putting together this our creative visual message. Okay, they are condiments. Just as you want to prepare jollof rice or fried rice, there are ingredients that you need to get acquainted to. There are some things you need to know and have before you prepare that jollof rice or fried rice. Like now, your maggi now, you must know how many maggi you need before you can prepare your fried rice. So also, in graphic design, you must understand every element, and the elements of graphic design are actually inexhaustible, but I've been able to streamline everything to about 15 points, and I'm going to be rushing down those 15 points. So the number one point is line. A line is a continuous mark made a canvas. Do you get that definition?
No, please, can you come
A
again?
line is a continuous mark made on a surface. Okay, I said a line is a continuous mark. Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, you should be able to get what I'm saying. Can you see my screen? I've zoomed my screen. Can you see it now?
The screen
So
is
a line
blurry.
is
We
a
can I
continuous
can
mark
see
made
you,
on a
but it's
surface or a canvas.
okay.
When you are talking about canvas, it is not the canvas that you people know online. No. In graphic design or as okay. So when you are talking about Canva, I'm not talking about the app that we all know, Canva. I'm talking in the digital space or in the art space or in the tech space. When we are talking about Canva, Canva is more like an empty sheet or an empty space in which you put in all your works or all your message or ideas. It's a surface, a plain surface. You understand? That is what we refer to as Canva in the art world. So your lines, they are marks that you make on a surface. And we have different type of lines. We have the thick line and we have the thin line. Depending on what depending on what you want to achieve, it's going to determine the type of line you will be making use of. Now, if you agree with me, from our letter A to Z is an example of a line. True or true? Yes or yes? Can you all hear
Ma.
me?
Yes.
So if you agree with me, the alphabet A to Z is as a result of lines, and we have different type of lines. We have the dotted lines, we have the wavy lines, we have the zigzag, we have the curved lines, Hope you are getting all these things. Some of these things are not in my notes. We have the curve lines. Can I go over again or I'm good? We have the curve lines. We have the wavery lines. We have the zigzag lines. We have the broken lines. We have the straight lines. And we have, among all these type of lines that I'm talking about, we just have two types. We have the ones that can be thick or that can be light. Do you understand me?
Yes, ma.
So
Yes.
lines can actually be used to create alphabets, shapes, or any form of design on your head. That is why you see an artist that is into I've forgotten what they call them, that draws, a fine artist. Let me use the word fine artist for lack of better um description. A fine artist that draws on a piece of canvas, on a canvas, can actually draw a bird using lines. And how will he or she be able to achieve that? By connecting those lines together. And that is what we as graphic designers we also do on our canvas. We connect these lines together to create shapes and to evoke emotions. Now, number two element is what we call the shape. We have different type of shapes, and as we all know, we have, who can tell me? Okay, me let me let me make it very interactive now. Who can tell me the different type of shapes that we have? Let me hear from you. So who can
We
tell me
have
the different
round
shapes that we
shape,
have? Round shape.
That
circular
Can you
shape.
put it in a better Miriam, that your round shape, can you put it in a better word when it comes to the word of heart? What do we call
Circular
round
shape.
shape? Circular shape, correct.
Circle.
Interesting. Circle, good. Mercy, you wanted to say something. Aisha,
Triangle.
you are here. Triangle. Aisha, are you here with us? Can you give us an example of a shape? Emmanuel, can you give us an example of a shape? Eniola, can you give us an example of a shape?
Trapezium.
Yes, my
All right,
rectangular shape.
trapezium. Rectangular
Rectangle.
shape. Beautiful. Beautiful. So all these shapes that you are looking, that you are talking, it's actually the elements that we use in creating logos, icons, or representing whatever objects that we want to use in conveying our messages. I hope you understand
Rectangle.
that now. Rectangle, beautiful. So all these shapes that you have just mentioned now, they are formed out of line, and from those shapes, what we get out of it is getting icons, logos, or whatever object we want to use to convey our message or an idea. Like now, if you look at the football logo, let's assume we want to create a football logo. How many shapes do you think is inside a football logo itself? Who can tell me? Who can tell me how many shapes do we have in a football icon or a football logo?
Suma.
Two. Are you sure it's two?
One.
Are you sure it's one?
Awesome.
Are you sure? All right, let me not twist our brain too much. We actually, if you look through um the ball, we have different type of shapes. It's unlimited. Depends on the angle you are viewing it from. Do you understand? That is one twist about the shape element. The perspective at which you are viewing that particular element, which is the shape element, will determine the type of shape that you can capture in your mind. So A shape can actually contain different type of areas. We have the height, we have the width, and we have the depth. So the height is how long or how tall it is. The width is how wide it is. Then the depth is like, now let me use the oval shape as an example now. The depth of an oval shape. I hope you understand. Now moving to color. When you're talking about color, color is actually one of the most important elements um in graphic design. Without this color, you cannot express or evoke emotions. Do you understand me? Assume that in this particular world of art, there is nothing like color. How do you want to express a particular message? Every one of us, we know that red signifies passion. Now you want to make a design that expresses passion, but you are now using white, which shows purity. You can see that your message cannot be conveyed because you don't have the appropriate color to express or evoke the emotions of your audience towards the message you are trying to pass. So without color, I used to tell people that without color in our elements, your design is as good as a regular art. Is as good as, a piece of formless elements that you can find on earth. So color is actually one of the elements that add taste, flavor, emotions, and a lot of amazing, mind-blowing imaginations to your design. Men looking at a particular color, you will travel down into memories. You will travel down and be able to relate emotions and connect your feelings. Imagine now, for the International Women's Day, I want to create a design. In my design, I have to consider a particular color that represents the feminine. You cannot expect me to want to use a black to make a design to celebrate the International Women's Day. And then all through, from the beginning of my design to the end design, what people are seeing is just the black. Is that expressing any form of femininity? It is not. It is not. It is not. We all know that ladies are attracted to bright and more appealing colors like pink, lilac, purple. Some ladies actually like red, but the brighter red. So all these colors, you must have an understanding as a graphic designer of how to combine all these colors. We are going to get into that particular area. So you must learn how to create a contrast, because there are some designs that I see and most times I just laugh. Why? Because the designer has failed to complement each of this color together. Some people, I used to tell people that you cannot tell me that you want to create a graphics and then your contrast is as bad. Let me not even use the word good. It's as bad as you creating a rainbow. If you know you want to create out of your design, then create one. Don't create a graph. Understand color contrasts. You must understand color combinations. You must understand color blending. I hope you guys are getting me, because the way you present this particular color will determine if you'll be able to evoke the emotions of your audience or convey your message. So I am not going to go deep into the color theory today, because we all know that we have three basic colors. We have the green, sorry, we have the primary colors, and we have the secondary colors, and we have the tertiary colors. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
All right. So who can tell me, we know the primary colors to be blue, am I correct? Yellow
Sorry.
and red. Am I correct?
Yes, ma, you are
Now,
correct.
the combination of these three colors is what makes the secondary colors, which are the red, the green and other colors. Now, I was privileged to have a physical tech class with some set of people from Shikan, and I was telling them that some people used to confuse the secondary color from the tertiary color. So now just have it at the back of your mind that any secondary color that you can mix with a primary color is what gives you the tertiary color. What am I trying to say? We already know that our primary color is blue, yellow and red, while one of the secondary color we have is green. Now, you mixing green with yellow, or green with red, or green with blue, whatever color comes out of this mixture, that is what we refer to as the tertiary color. Do you understand? We are not dealing with color theory
Please come
today.
again.
Okay, I said when it comes to color theory, we are not diving deep into it, but just understand that whatever secondary color that you mix with your primary color, whatever outcome you have from it is what you refer to as your tertiary color. For example, we all know blue, red and yellow as the primary color, while green is an example of the secondary color. Now, whatever outcome you get by mixing your green, which is your secondary color, and your blue or red or yellow, which are the primary color, with just that green, which is the secondary color, whatever outcome you get from it is what you call the tertiary color. So your tertiary color is your secondary color plus your primary color. You can decide to mix 1,000,000 primary colors with thousands of secondary colors. Whatever outcome you get is what you refer to as your tertiary color. I hope I hope you understand.
Yes, ma.
So now moving forward, we have what we call the texture. Now, for graphic design, some people used to ask me this particular question whenever I'm teaching, that how is it possible for you to be able to feel the texture of a design, considering the fact that most graphic design, especially the e-flyers we create, they are not printed. That is why it is called a visual element. When it comes to e-designs, it is a visual element. Now, for you to be able to get your texture, it's by looking at your templates, your background, your canvas. Okay, what particular texture have I introduced into it? We have the rough texture, we have the smooth texture. Depending on what you want to do, I'm going to be in our practical sections, we are going to be getting acquainted with, so I'm not going to be getting deep into this texture. So one of the major reason why we make use of our texture is that it invokes sensations and emotions. There are some times when you look at a particular texture of a canvas, And the texture of a canvas is expressing passion, strong emotions. Do you understand? While on the other hand, if that particular texture is that particular design is what you are printing, you will look at some materials you use in printing your design. By feeling it or by looking at it, you would have been able to decode the texture. I wish this class is a physical class. I would have been able to give us a physical explanation of what texture is all about. Because some people, they don't really understand the type of texture of canvas they should apply while designing some certain designs. So now let us move down to the next element, which you call the space. When you are talking about space, space is simply the negative areas between your elements, either the space or the text. Your elements can actually be your text or your shapes. So that negative area that you can find, when we are talking about negative areas, we mean that place where there is no objects or text or any lines or color or anything, that is just empty. That is what we call our space. We call it negative areas. So the major reason why we always create space in the midst of our canvas is because we need to create a balance. We need to what? We need to create a balance. We are going to get deep into that. Now, the next element we can find is our typography. Typography is just more like representing your letters and words, in different formats. And we have different types of, typography. We have the calligraph. We have the we have the bold. We have the there are so many typography examples that we have, but the one that I know that most of us are used to is the sans France. So that one is actually the regular one that most people are used to, or the bold typography, or the calligraph. So these are actually different type of design in which you use while trying to express your text or your lines or your words. I mean your letters or your words. Like now, if I want to write my name, which is Peter Best Titilayo, I can decide to calligraph my name. I can decide to use the bold text or the bold. We can also refer your typography as font. Okay, you can also refer it to as font. And when you are talking about font, you are talking about typography. You are talking about the format in which you represent your letters or your words. So I can decide to use the bold font. I can decide to use the calligraph. I can decide to use there are a lot of fonts actually. I can decide to, let me see if I can get front for us. I can decide to, yes, I can decide to use the Arial. I can decide to use the Armrestra. I can decide to use the Blogger Sans. I can use the Chantella Antiqua. Depends on the type of front. We have a lot of fronts. We have the Roboto Regular. We have the Roboto Thin. We have the Nevias. We have the Bose type, and so on and so forth. We have the we have the Alex Bush Brush Regular. Depending on what you want to represent. And it is very important for you to understand each typography, because one of the mistakes that okay, we are going to be getting into that, but let me not jump. So now let me go into the form. When we are talking about the form has to do with either your lines or your shapes or your color. Now, form is basically a two-dimension or a three-dimensional format. Okay. Now, looking at the lines, your line can actually come in three-dimension mode. It can actually come in two-dimension modes. The form of your elements will be determined by what you want to create. And then we also have the pattern. Pattern is just talking about um how you create your lines and your shapes. Do you understand? Like now, I want to create an oval shape, and I notice that the app I'm going to be using does not have a particular oval shape. Now I want to create that oval shape. That is where our pattern now comes in. You can make use of your stripes or your dots to create a particular pattern. You can create a particular pattern. Let's assume I want to create a triangle now. Looking at the triangle is actually three straight lines. That is an example of a pattern. Then let's move down to balance. When you're talking about balance is simply the ability to, arrange and organize all your elements into your design. This is actually one of the areas where a lot of graphic designs make mistakes. Are you guys still with me?
Yes, ma.
All right, we have 13 more minutes to end today's section, and I want us to at least get towards the types of design, so that by tomorrow we'll talk about common mistakes and skills required, and then we start our theory on Wednesday. So moving down to balance, this is actually one of the areas where a lot of people make mistake. They don't understand how to stabilize their elements. They don't understand the synergy between elements and typography. They don't even know how to bring them together. So this is very important. And then hierarchy also. Hierarchy is also one of the most important aspects of your elements. Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma.
Yes.
All right. So now when you are talking about hierarchy is more like a sequence of arrangements, or a sequence or arrangement. Yes, a sequence of or arrangement. Like now, in an organization now, there's an hierarchy in which each position or each office is being placed. So also in graphic design, there are hierarchies attached to each element, starting from the heading to the subheading and to the main content or the main element itself. There are some people that that is why you see all these elements, they are complementary. You cannot leave one and then do with one. No, they are intertwined. They are together. You cannot tell me that you have a balanced canvas or a balanced design, and yet the hierarchy is nothing to write home about. You cannot tell me that you have a perfect design and then the pattern of your design is just there that I cannot even understand what pattern. Do you know that there are some design that you will look at, and at the end of the day You will not even understand the pattern that the designer. Okay, I think I have one example that is screenshotted for us. And you will not just be able to understand the pattern in which the person is trying to make use of. It's just there. It's just there. Now look at this particular design now. Everybody, can you all see this design?
Yes.
Can everybody see this design?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can everybody see this design?
Yes,
What
ma, we
now?
can see it.
Men looking at this design. Do you think this design has a specific pattern that they followed? Judge this design. So judge it. Do you think they have a particular pattern that they followed? You said you can see it now, so answer me. Do you think they
No.
have a pattern? No, they don't.
No.
The reason why I screenshotted the reason why I screenshotted this design was because the name of one of a famous fashion brand in Ilorin here. I'm based in Kwara State, Ilorin. The reason why I screenshotted this design and I said I'm going to use it as my example for you guys is because the name of a particular brand, Aisha will know that particular brand. Now that particular brand is one of the most popular brand in Ilorin here, and I was so disappointed that the name of that brand was on this design, because men looking at this design, there is no form of pattern. It lacks balance. Because why? The pattern is zero, the hierarchy is nothing to write home about, and the message is not even clear. Me looking at it, will you be able to capture the particular message this particular designer was trying to pass across? No, it's nothing to write home about. So you must, for you to tell me that your design is a balanced design, all your form, your pattern, your emphasis, your space, your color, your shape, your line, everything.
I
They
can't hear. I can't hear again. No. Am I the only one
must
that is not
be
hearing?
in hierarchy. Do you understand?
Your voice has been cracking since I
And
think
then
the network have
also
been.
with lastly, that would be the last
I can't
element
hear you clearly, ma. Your voice is breaking.
I'm going
We can
to be
hear you.
touching.
Please, am I the only one not hearing?
Me too. I'm not hearing her. I
Not
think it's her network.
You're not. I'm not hearing her too.
so I've tried to off and on my data again. Can you all now hear me properly?
Yes, we can hear
Any of
you
Yes,
now.
ma.
confirm? Mercy, can you hear me? I don't think Mercy is with us, so she just on her data.
Is it?
Mercy, are you with us?
Yes.
All right, all right. Miss Hanu, welcome. Emmanuel, welcome. Moshood, welcome. All right, so let's proceed. As I was saying, now, men looking at this particular design, you can see that the proportion is just out of it. Not somebody mic is still on. Please mute your mic. I'm hearing the echo of my voice. All right, I think that has stopped now. All right, so as I was saying, mere looking at this design, you can see that the proportion is nothing to write home about. So therefore, you cannot say this particular designer has a professional design. You cannot say so. So one thing that actually makes you look unprofessional while you are designing is when you don't even understand your elements and how to position them. So for those that actually came early for this class, for those that started this class with me, I'm going to be giving you a reward. And one of the reward I'm going to be giving you is that I'm going to be sending this particular note to you. So if you are on WhatsApp and you join this class early, just send me I with a proof that you started with me early from the beginning of this class. So I will send you a copy of today's lesson. So this is more like a challenge to those who came late. All right, so let's move down to the principles of graphic design. You know, I always tell people that every field and every career, just as they have principles, also in graphic design, we have principles. So number one principle is the color theory. Now, as a graphic designer, you must be able to know your color wheel. You must know how to combine colors, harmonize your colors, and express your color contrast. If not, your color will just look like what I don't know. It will look like a child's playground. You know the way when children they bring their watercolor and they use it to play. If you don't understand that is how your design is going to look. It's going to look like a child's playground. So as a graphic designer, you must understand your color wheel. And I've already explained to us the difference between primary color, secondary color, and your tertiary color. So it is not left for you to learn how to harmonize all this color, because it is not sufficient for you to just have an idea that okay, red represents passion, black represents this, blue represents this, white represents purity. I'm already using style to tell us answers to today's assignment. So as a graphic designer, you must understand your color wheel. You must understand your color wheel. You must understand your color wheel. So you must understand your color wheel, how to harmonize it, most especially. Like now, you cannot tell me that you are celebrating Valentine and then you are using color yellow to express Valentine. Abba now. When did we start that? And you cannot tell me that you are trying to express Valentine and you are using burgundy color. How is that even relating to Valentine? You cannot tell me that you are representing love and you are using onion color. Why now? Why are you disgracing us? You cannot. So you must understand your color wheel, knowing how to harmonize your colors, know when to use a sharp color, know when to use a aggressive color, know when to use a cool and warm color. What type of emotions do you want to evoke? You must first of all understand. So all this are what falls under our color theory principle. Moving to the typography, you must understand how to arrange your fonts. From the selection of the type of fonts, I already read to us the type of fonts that we have. From the choice of your fonts down to the size of your fonts, you must know how to use it, to the spacing of your fonts, to the alignment of your font. There are some people that, okay, let me show us a recent logo that I made for a brand. A recent logo that I made for a brand. You know, before I could get, can you all see it?
No.
No, ma.
You can't see it.
We can't see your screen.
Can you see it now?
Not
No, we
yet.
still
Yes,
can't
Wow.
see.
no.
Okay, share screen. All right. I think my screen stopped sharing once I had to re-enter. Can you all see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma.
Yes.
All right, now look at this particular logo. Let me zoom it in. Can you see? I only used text and just one object to create this logo. Can you see? Now, before I could get the
Yes.
alignment of this particular logo, it took me days of thinking and thinking and thinking. It took me. That's why sometimes when somebody come and meet a graphic designer and they'll say, "Eh, I want to design something. I will pay you 1,000 and I need it in 24 hours." I'll just look at them. You think graphic design is like making pap? Even making pap takes time. You think this particular design you are seeing, before I could dive into the mind of the CEO of this particular company, it took me time. Look at this one too. Look at this particular one too. I did this yesterday. You can see. You can see. I
Yeah.
use just text and one particular object. I made this yesterday for a customer. You can see. So now, imagine that I don't know how to align my fonts or how to space my fonts. How do you think that particular word design is going to come out? It's going to look shabby. It's going to look so shabby. It won't be readable. There are sometimes when I see some logos that were used with letters or word, I'll now be like, why will you do this? You are embarrassing graphic designers. Why will you do this? So also, one of the principles you must learn is alignment. That is number 3. Alignment. That is why there are some as a beginner. I used to pity beginners that they will tell me that, "Ma, can you teach me how to use Canva? Can you teach me how to use Pixlr?" There are some crazy websites and crazy applications that people will just come to my DM and they will tell me, "Can you teach me how?" I'll say no. Go and start with Pixel Lab. Why? Because Lab has this basket, or what do we call it now? Grid. Yes, that is what I'm looking for. It has a grid, a line grid that it's going to help you to align each designs and each element. So as a beginner, because I think somebody on WhatsApp asked me that question, that I should tell them the applications that we'll be using for this class. I'm sorry to disappoint you. For this class, we'll just be using Pixel because I don't teach people how to be lazy. I don't teach people how to. I would find quite alright. I will introduce you to Canva and the tricks to Canva. But for our practical sections, we'll be using our Pixel. So get ready for those that are online today. Go and download Pixel. So you must also learn alignment. You must, one of the principles is balance. I've already said all this together with our elements. Balance. You must learn how to balance the weight of each object. When you want to talk about something, you must know the weight, the thickness. You must learn contrast balance. You must learn emphasis. Some people, when you are talking about emphasis in design, can you all hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
ma.
ma.
Yes,
Oh,
we can.
okay. Now, when you are talking about emphasis in graphic design, emphasis in graphic design is not talking about repetition of particular elements or repetition of particular text. No, that is not what emphasis is all about. Emphasis is talking about the focal point that you want everybody to get to see, the center of attraction, your major message. That is what emphasis is talking about in graphic design. So when you hear the word emphasis, it's not that okay, so when we are talking about emphasis, it means if I'm writing the word Peter Best Titilayo is a girl, my emphasis is a girl, so I have to repeat girl, 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 girl. No, that is not the emphasis we are talking about. We mean when your emphasis is on the girl, it means it's either you give that girl a bold front such that it will catch the attention of the audience. First sight, what will your audience or your viewers see at the first sight of your design? That is what emphasis in graphic design means. Do you understand? Now I'm going to be jumping to direction. Now look at this same design that I was using as an example. Look at this same design. Where is it? I wish I can find it. Yes, I found it. Now look at this design. You can see that this design lacks direction. Yes or yes? Because if you look at the shape element that was used to write the name of the speaker by the second speaker, you can see that the alignment of this shape and the alignment of the shape for the speaker one, it's very contradictory, which makes the design look so unprofessional and just there. I don't even like it. It's just there. Not to even talk about the color choice that this person used. If you want to use green, let us know you are using green. If you want to use red, let us know you are using red. If you want to use yellow, let us know you are using yellow. If you want to use orange, let us know you are using orange. Not that all your colors will now be blocking each other, like as if you are trying to create a design to celebrate brother Joseph. Different shades of green, different shades of orange, which actually makes this designer to look as if he doesn't have a direction. Different shades of red, different shades of white, different shades of black. So, as a graphic designer, one of the principles you must apply is direction. You must, because there are some viewers that sound like me now that because I'm using computer too much, I have to be wearing glasses. Someone like me, my glass might not be color, there's a name I want to give it, might not be color effective or might not be able to capture colors and all that. There are some graphics that all they correct is your ability to see text. There are some colors, glasses that they might not be able to correct how you see colors. And if you have that type of viewer or that type of audience as a graphic designer and your colors does not have direction, how are you going to help your audience to get to know or to capture the emotions? It won't happen. So your graphic design must have direction. It must also have focus. That's one of the principles too that I want to talk about. Some graphic designer, they don't even have a focus for their design. They just want to design just to design, to say that okay, I am also a graphic designer. I actually saw one design that was made by somebody and I almost wanted to insult the person. Let me see if I screenshotted it. I almost wanted to insult the person because the person has actually insulted me and other professional graphic designer. When I saw the design, okay, I think I did not screenshot it. Okay. When I saw the design, I was like, whoa, what a design. What a disaster you've made. Not a design. So, and one of the principles you must also have at the back of your mind is simplicity. This is actually one of the mistakes that most graphic designer make. Are you all still with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right. This is one of the mistakes that most graphic designer they make. They don't simplify their designs. They always think that adding loads of elements to the canvas is actually what makes them look like a professional, or that is what makes them to stand out as a designer. It's a lie, oh, my sisters and my brothers. It is a lie. Now, everybody, look at this design. What do you think about this design? Is it not simple? Is it not beautiful? I want to hear from us. Is it not simple?
We are not seeing the design.
We are not? What about now?
Yes. We have seen it
And
now.
what do you think about this design? Looking so simple.
It's simple.
We are
What
not
do you think
seeing
about
it.
this design? What do you think about this design? Can you all see it?
Yes, it's simple, ma'am.
Simple. Now, let me give you another example. What do you think about this design?
Neat and simple.
So simple. So simple. Look at this design so that it will look as if I'm just showing you people other people's work. This is also one of my designs. What do you think about this design? Simple. What do you think about this design? Simple. What do you think about this? Simple. Can you see? Can you see? Because most people, they always think that by bombarding their design with a lot of can you see this, with a lot of elements, playing with it, this and that is what makes their design look professional or look attractive, which is a very fat lie. A very fat lie. So tomorrow we are going to be commencing our class with understanding the types of graphic design, because most people, I always tell people that I'm privileged to teach graphic design that you cannot tell me that you are a graphic design and you don't have your area of specialization. Some people, when they ask them, I'm a graphic designer, okay, which area do you do, or where do you specialize in? They don't know. So tomorrow we are going to be starting by understanding the types of graphic design, also understanding the common mistakes we make as graphic design, and also the skills required as a graphic designer, and the graphic design process, and then we move into the practical section. So I'm going to be taking a bow from here. Thank you all for joining. I was supposed to spend an hour, 7 to 8, but I've already spent an hour and 17 minutes, and I apologize for that. So for now, I am going to be giving us an assignment. I'm going to be sending the assignment to the WhatsApp platform. So for those of us that are not on the WhatsApp platform, please, I want to encourage us to join the WhatsApp Please, questions based on what I have taught so far. Questions, please. If you have question, unmute your mic and ask your question. Can anybody hear me?